In the shadows of India's jungles, a cult murdered over 1 million people for a goddess. And you've been lied to about their extinction. For 700 years, the Thuggees strangled travelers, buried families alive, and vanished like ghosts, all in the name of Kali, the Hindu goddess of destruction. But declassified British files and modern crime scenes reveal a terrifying truth. The Thuggees never died. They're hiding in plain sight, their rituals reborn in today's chaos. And if you think this is ancient history, think again. Their descendants are still killing, and they're closer than you realize. Secret 1. The goddess who demanded blood. For 700 years, the Thuggees terrorized India with a divine mandate so twisted, it rewrote the meaning of devotion. At the heart of their carnage was goddess Kali, the Hindu deity of destruction. But this wasn't the Kali worshipped in temples today. The Thuggees believed a darker, hungrier version of her demanded human sacrifice to delay the apocalypse. Imagine a cult so fanatical they saw murder as holy. Every life they took was an offering to satisfy Kali's wrath. The Thuggees didn't just kill, they ritualized it. Before every murder, they performed secret ceremonies in hidden jungle shrines, chanting prayers to Kali while sharpening their yellow rumels, the sacred silk scarves used to strangle victims. They believed each kill bought humanity more time, staving off Kali's promise to destroy the world. But here's the horrifying twist. Their victims weren't random. They targeted travelers, merchants, and even families, luring them with false kindness before striking. The scale of their brutality is unmatched. Historians estimate they murdered over 1 million people, burying bodies in mass graves dug under roads, fields, and riverbanks. These graves weren't just hiding places, they were offerings to the earth itself. The Thuggees believed the soil would consume their sins, leaving no trace of their crimes. Yet, the most chilling detail? British colonial records reveal some graves held entire generations, grandparents, parents, and children, silenced together in the dark. But Kali's hunger didn't end with blood. The Thuggees left behind cryptic symbols at burial sites, carvings of serpents, crescent moons, and tridents. Modern researchers now suspect these symbols were a coded map to hidden treasure, gold, jewels, and artifacts looted from victims. And here's the kicker. Similar symbols have been found at crime scenes in rural India as recently as 2015. Could Kali's cult still be alive? The answer lies in the next secret, one that reveals how the Thuggees perfected the art of invisible murder. Secret 2. The silent killers. The Thuggees didn't just kill, they perfected the art of invisible murder. Imagine a traveler on a dusty Indian road greeted by a smiling stranger offering companionship. This was no act of kindness. It was a death sentence. The Thuggees posed as merchants, pilgrims, or soldiers, blending seamlessly into crowds. Their weapon? A simple yellow rumel, a silk scarf blessed in Kali's name. With chilling precision, they'd loop it around a victim's neck, strangle them mid-conversation, and vanish into the wilderness, leaving no witnesses. But their silence wasn't just physical. The Thuggees spoke in a coded language only initiates understood. Phrases like, "the crop is ripe," signaled a target was vulnerable, while "the monsoon comes," warned of danger. Even their gestures hid deadly intent. A hand placed on the shoulder meant, "prepare to strike," while a tilt of the head marked a burial site. This wasn't just a cult. It was a secret society with its own laws, rituals, and hierarchy, operating undetected for centuries. The most horrifying detail? Thuggee children were trained to kill by age 10. They'd practice on dummies stuffed with sand, mastering the rumel's swift twist. By adulthood, they could murder in seconds, their faces betraying no emotion. British records describe a captured Thuggee admitting, "We felt nothing. It was duty to Kali." Yet, despite their ruthlessness, they followed strict rules: never spill blood, never kill women or holy men, and never let a victim escape. Breaking these rules meant execution by their own brethren. But here's what history books won't tell you. Thuggee tactics didn't die in the 1800s. Modern gangs in India and Nepal still use their coded signals and strangulation methods. In 2018, police in Uttar Pradesh uncovered a crime ring with eerie parallels. Victims buried in mass graves marked with crescent moons. Coincidence? Or proof that Kaylee's silent killers never truly vanished? The answer lies in the next secret, one that exposes how the British Empire tried to erase the Thuggees and failed. Secret 3. The British Cover-Up. When the British Empire vowed to eradicate the Thuggees in the 1830s, they didn't just hunt killers. They buried a truth so explosive it threatens their legacy to this day. Enter William Sleeman, the British officer tasked with dismantling the cult. On the surface, he was a hero. 4,000 Thuggees hanged, thousands imprisoned, and a network of terror destroyed. But hidden in classified colonial files is a darker story. The British didn't just stop the Thuggees, they rewrote history to hide their own failures and alliances. Sleeman's campaign was built on a lie. To avoid panic, the British burned Thuggee records, silenced witnesses, and erased evidence of the cult's reach. Why? Because Thuggee leaders had infiltrated British ranks as translators, spies, and even soldiers. One declassified letter reveals a colonial officer's horror. "We trusted them with our lives. They knew every patrol route, every safe house. Worse, some Thuggees struck secret deals, handing over rivals to protect their own. The British didn't just fail to wipe out the cult, they became unwitting accomplices. But the cover-up goes deeper. In 1947, as India gained independence, British officials quietly shipped crates of Thuggee trial documents back to London. These files, still classified, allegedly contain names of high-ranking officials who collaborated with the cult. One leaked page references a Thuggee leader who worked as a royal advisor, steering colonial policies to protect Kaylee worshippers. Even today, the UK government denies these claims, but in 1982, a historian found Thuggee ritual artifacts in a London museum basement labeled "Do Not Display." The most shocking revelation? The British missed a critical clue, the Thuggees' final ritual. Before executions, prisoners whispered a cryptic phrase, "Kali sleeps in the bones of the earth." Sleeman dismissed it as madness, but modern researchers now believe it was a command to survivors, a vow to resurrect the cult. And in remote villages across India, whispers of that same phrase still echo. But how? The answer lies in the next secret, and the horrifying proof that the Thuggees' legacy is far from dead. Secret 4. The Cult That Never Died. The British Empire declared the Thuggees extinct in the 1870s. They were wrong. Hidden in remote villages, encrypted in folklore, and masked as tradition, the cult's legacy didn't die. It evolved. In 1998, a mass grave was discovered in Madhya Pradesh, India. The victims? An entire family of travelers, strangled with cloth strips and buried under a dirt road. The killer left a calling card, a yellow rumal, and a crescent moon carved into a nearby tree. Police dismissed it as a gang crime, but historians recognized the truth. The Thuggees were back, or they'd never left. Modern reports from rural India tell of shadowy groups practicing ritualistic strangulation, their methods mirroring Thuggee techniques. In Nepal, Kaylee temples still guard relics, rusted daggers, silk rumals, and scrolls detailing offerings to the Dark Mother. Priests refuse to speak of them, but leaked photos show symbols identical to those found at 19th-century Thuggee burial sites. Even more chilling, survivors of these attacks describe killers whispering "Jai Kali," "Hail Kali," before vanishing into the night. But the cult's resurgence isn't confined to the past. In 2016, An Indian journalist infiltrated a secret society in Rajasthan, where members claimed direct descent from Thuggee leaders. They spoke of a blood oath to Kali, a vow to cleanse the impure, and a network spanning South Asia. When the journalist published his findings, he received a parcel containing a yellow cloth and a note. Kali sees you. His investigation vanished from the internet days later. The most terrifying truth? The Thuggees' greatest weapon wasn't violence. It was invisibility. By embedding their rituals into local traditions, they became folklore, dismissed as superstition. Farmers still avoid roads where Thuggees once roamed, believing them cursed. Elders warn children of ghosts with silk scarves. But these aren't ghosts. They're heirs to a 700-year-old legacy of terror. And now, they're adapting. Recent intelligence reports suggest Thuggee-inspired groups are exploiting modern chaos, political unrest, pandemics, and economic collapse to recruit new followers. Their mantra? Kali's work is never done. But how far has this network spread? And who's protecting them? The answer lies in the final secret, and the hidden temple where the Thuggees' darkest rituals are still performed today. If you want uncensored history, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Comment "Kali lives" if you dare watch.